Once again, it's Kennard, Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Auburn Football Sports Talk, episode number 122. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. All right, so the world is starting to kind of open up a little bit, man. I'm seeing a lot of cars. I'm seeing a lot of restaurants that are getting busy. A lot of more of the non-essential businesses are starting to open its doors once again. And I saw a little something on the news yesterday where they were talking about the Major League Baseball is planning on getting back started in July with games without fans. But that's a start, though. That's a start to opening up the idea of the possibility of even college football taking place this particular fall. And with that in mind, I think Auburn is in a great position. Auburn is a little slow in recruiting right now. We're going to get into some recruiting news here in a little bit, not on this particular video, but a little bit later on. Like I said before, go ahead and like the video. Share this thing with your friends, especially if you got some Auburn fans out there who just want a objective viewpoint of Auburn football. I try to be as candid as possible. A lot of folks don't like my views on Gus Malzahn. I actually have some mixed feelings about Gus Malzahn as a football coach. I do try to consider the totality of circumstance with Gus Malzahn, considering he started out most of his career as a high school football coach. And with that particular entity of coaching comes a certain type of mentality. And, to transfer that over to Power 5 football, I think what Gus Malzahn has done, considering the way he was groomed as a coach, I think it's been pretty incredible for the Tigers. But this particular year and moving forward, I think Gus Malzahn is in a position to where he has survived pretty much the worst possible case scenario where it comes to just ignorance in recruiting. And I don't say ignorance in a negative kind of way, but just not knowing, really not knowing how to strategize recruiting. I think he's starting to figure those things out. I think he's starting to figure out even on offense that maybe, his method of coaching or maybe his even desire to call plays, that ship has sailed. I think he could have some pretty nice input. Even last year, I think he did do a great job of calling plays at times, but execution definitely, in some ways, just wasn't there. Plays were open, but in some ways, execution just did not happen. Big shout out to Gus Malzahn. Has been around the Auburn program now going on 10 years, actually, a little over 10 years. Came to Auburn in 2009 as an offensive coordinator. Had some pretty good offensive production during that time, of course, with the on the heels of Cam Newton in 2010. Definitely kind of started to taper off after Cam Newton left, subsequently goes to Arkansas. Then back to Auburn in 2013, giving Auburn an opportunity to win its second national championship in 3 years. I think that would have been somewhat of a game changer for the Auburn Tigers, but did not happen. But as we look to the future for Auburn, you talk about Auburn with traditionally some of the better running backs in the country in the SEC, most notably back in the day, Bo Jackson, James Bostic, a lot of great running backs. Too many to name: Trey Mason, Carnell Williams, Ronnie Brown, Brad Lester, Kenny Irons, Rudy Johnson, just so many. Cameron Artis-Payne, Kerryon Johnson, just so many guys that can run the football. Auburn is just known for its ability to produce great running backs. Now, here's the situation. Auburn's in a great position to have that running back status. Once again, of course, Tank Bigsby from Hogansville, Georgia, all but a 5-star recruit, was seen actually working out with the former Auburn great Brad Lester, which says a whole lot about Tank Bigsby. And he knows that if he wants to have an immediate impact, he's going to have to really, really give himself some type of competitive edge, and he's doing that by the off-season workouts. I'm actually excited to see what Tank Bigsby can do. I mean, you talk about a wide range skill set wise, power, speed, agility, ability to make the big plays, to make those game-breaking plays that Auburn definitely has missed in running backs like Boobie Whitlow, who can make some good plays, but just not that game-breaking type of running back that Auburn is accustomed to. Kind of like if you think about Michael Dyer back in 2010, a very game-breaking, once he gets out in the open field, he's not going to get caught type of running back. And that's what Auburn had been missing in their running game. And we think Tank Bigsby can actually provide that. Also, I want to see how DJ Williams, who had a very interesting skill set, very low to the ground, very middle heavy as far as his weight goes. He's very hard to tackle. I think he has some good movement. Made some really nice runs. A nice run against LSU. I thought that real quick burst up the middle and out into the open field. Just a couple of steps away from actually making a touchdown. It would have been a nice difference in that particular football game. Really looking forward to seeing how he performs as well. And really, Harold Joyner, when you think about Harold Joyner, he's another guy that a lot of the Auburn fans feel like, should get the ball a lot more. And I think so is the case. Every time he touches the ball, he does some special things. Most notably from last year, he was very good at catching the football out of the backfield, especially on that wheel route. You usually seem to find a nice seam on those wheel routes and make some big plays for Auburn. And last but not least, Mark Anthony Richards, who was a huge recruit for the Auburn Tigers, was resting with an injury on last year. He's probably one of the wild cards. I want to see really how he performs and how his athletic ability transfers over to Power 5 football. All right, guys, this is a short one, episode number 122 of Auburn Football Sports Talk. Real brief, talking about Auburn running backs and Coach Gus Malzahn. Go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. I'm your host, Kennard Vernon Stewart, and as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.